Hi musician friends, it's Mrs. Mott here. Today I'm going to teach you a little bit about jazz. And I usually save this for the end of the year because jazz in our country is known as Jazz History Month. And so a lot of music teachers around our country are teaching their young musicians all about jazz this month too. Jazz is a style of music that came around in the early 1900s. So when we talk about music and all of the different styles of music we usually listen to in our music classroom, this is kind of one of the newer kinds. It's not old fancy music like sometimes we listen to. Jazz was invented in New York City. So this was invented in our own country. A lot of the music we listen to was made in Europe or other countries kind of farther away, and then it came to us. Jazz was actually born in America, so that makes it a little bit more special to us. Today I'm going to read a story called This Jazz Man. And This Jazz Man is a musical jazz version of the song This Old Man. So the song that goes something like, this old man, he played too. He played knick-knack on my shoe with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. Maybe you've heard that before. This takes the same kind of rhythm and the same idea of that, and it changes it into poems about famous jazz musicians. And the artist and the author of this book, I'll show you at the end, they made this book about real jazz musicians. So each one of these jazz musicians you'll see is based off of a real jazz musician that actually lived, like Louis Armstrong or Duke Ellington or Charlie Parker, some famous jazz musicians. So when you see their pictures in the book, it's supposed to be about those real people and the things that they did for jazz music. Today I'd like you to pay particular attention, special attention, to the instruments that these men and women are playing. And so at the end of this, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the instruments you heard. So if you have one thing to focus on and really listen for as I read the book, listen and think about the instruments that you hear and that you see. So please follow along as I read for you This Jazz Man. This jazz man, he plays one. He plays rhythm with his thumb. With a snap, snap, snazzy snap, give the man a hand. This jazz man scats with the band. And he sang, be diddly doo-wah, doo-wah. This jazz man, he plays too. He makes music with his shoes. With a tap, tap, shuffle, slap, give the man a hand. This jazz man stomps with the band. Shuffle step, shim sham, hop step, slide. So he's tap dancing with the band. This jazz man, he plays three. He plays congas tween his knees. With a bibbity bop, poppity pop, give the man a hand. This jazz man pounds with the band. He goes tick-a-tock-a, slap, pop, pop. So he's playing conga drums. This jazz man, he plays four. He conducts them through the score. With a one and a two and a give the man a hand. This jazz man, he leads the band. He's the conductor. Bring it on home, now you're cooking. This jazz man, he plays five. He plays bebop, he plays jive. With a beatly bop, bebop, give the man a hand. This jazz man blows with the band. There's a saxophone. This jazz man, he plays six. He plays solos with his sticks. With the bump, bump, bada-ba-bump, give the man a hand. This jazz man beats with the band. He's playing a drum set. This jazz man, he plays seven. He plays notes that rise to heaven. With a toot, toot, doodly toot, give the man a hand. This jazz man wails with the band. This jazz man, he plays eight. He plays keys, all 88. With a tink, plink, plinkle-dink, give the man a hand. This jazz man swings with the band. He's playing the piano. I think I forgot to say, this man was playing a trumpet. Back to the piano. This jazz man, he plays nine. He plucks strings that sound divine. With a thump, dumple thump, give the man a hand. This jazz man jams with the band. He's playing a string bass. It makes really low sounds. These jazzmen, they play 10. We beg them to play again. With an encore, we want more. Give them all a hand. These jazzmen make one great band. And there they all are doing their special things. We had somebody scatting, which I'm going to talk to you more about next week. Scatting is kind of like singing and talking at the same time. They use a lot of nonsense. So you heard at the beginning like beedly bop, boo bop. Doesn't really mean anything, but it sounds really cool. And they say it to different rhythms. Next week I'll talk to you more about that. And then we had a dancer. He was playing congas. This is our conductor. This is the leader of the band. He was playing a saxophone, and then he was playing the piano, I believe. And then he had a trumpet. And then we had some other things. I forget. Oh, the double bass we had. And then what else did we have? We had the double bass, and I think we got them all. So your assignment today is just like these people in the book, the men in the book. I would like you to draw yourself playing one of the special instruments from this book. So you could play one of the jazz instruments we met. So you could draw yourself playing a trumpet or a piano or some drums. You could draw yourself being the conductor or the dancer or the singer. I'd like you to draw yourself as a member of this jazz band. I can't wait to see your drawings.